of the key pieces of this project to develop strategies for targeting under-screened populations in Newfoundland and Labrador was to really understand our population. So we were in existence for about 10 years when this project began back in 2020, and we would always characterize ourselves as being data rich yet analytic poor. So we set out in this project to first undergo a detailed analysis into our screening cohort. So we worked with a vendor that was involved in our cancer screening database to develop a dashboard. And this, what we called analytic dashboard, is a Tableau reader, and it would allow us to break our province down by regional health authority. It would allow us to break it down by public health region to understand where in the province we're having an impact with respect to colon cancer screening. We could then use that data to be able to drive our decisions with respect to developing strategies to work with communities, to work within regions, to better serve and better offer not just colon cancer screening, but all cancer screening services. So what you're seeing here is a screenshot of our analytics dashboard. And this dashboard allows us to be able to tell a story of colon screening throughout Newfoundland and Labrador. And it's broken into several different categories, looking at things such as provincial data. It looks at regional health authority data. It would look at public health care zone data. And it'll also break down into like a program summary, as you see here. We will also see screens that will project out population growth and or decline that'll allow us to plan into the future. It'll give us a breakdown of where we have provided fit testing in the province to give us a screenshot of where we're screening well and where we're not screening well. It'll give us a breakdown of our fit outcomes, and it'll give us a breakdown of our colonoscopy outcomes for those that are fit positive. So again, as you see here is the front page showing an overall summary of the population in Newfoundland and Labrador. So our client registry consists of about 500,000 people, and of those 500,000, about 180,000 would be eligible for colon screening that we would target every 2 years with fit testing. So of that 181,000, we would have targeted around 20% of that population, and we can get breakdowns into the different 5-year age cohorts to give us an understanding of where we're performing well or not so well. And as with most screening programs, we see that once you hit around 55, 60, 65 years of age is when we see the biggest upswing with respect to participation in screening. And that's because people have now entered into potentially the retirement phases of their life. They got more time on their hands to look after their health and well-being. The dashboard, as I mentioned, will also give us an idea into projecting into the future. So as you can see here, it will break down those that we have deemed will age out of screening in the next 5 years and those that will come into screening. So it allows us to get a better idea of how to plan moving into the future, where we're going to need more resources or less resources. And if you were to click on any of these different colored zones in the project, in the province, you would get that breakdown along those screen in, screen out population. The dashboard also gives us an idea of the volume of fit tests that we've done. And what we've done here is broken it down by the Eastern Health region of Newfoundland and Labrador. So primarily the Avalon Peninsula, the Burin and Clarenville Peninsula, where we see approximately 60% of our population. So you can see the number of tests that we've done over the past 5 years. We get a breakdown by age cohort. You can see here that the 60 to 65 year range is where we get our highest participation. We get an idea of those that have tested positive and those that have tested negative and inconclusive. So it begins to tell that narrative, if you will, of population-based screening as we move, as we've grown and moved along. And this is over the past 5 years. We would also break it down by colonoscopies. So what have we been finding from our colonoscopies of our patients who've been fit positive? We've done around 4,200 scopes up to 2020, up to about March of 2020. And we can get an idea that we have an overall positivity, or we found pathology on around 65% of those individuals. So that tells us a few things, that A, we're finding a lot of polyps, a lot of pathology, but it gives us an indication of the quality of the follow-up colonoscopy that is occurring in our province. And again, you can get a breakdown by year on how we've progressed. You see a big drop off in 2020 here, and it's because the timeline takes us up to March of 2020 when the COVID-19 pandemic commenced. We would also get an idea, talked about screening projections, but also a fit test performed. So we know we've, over a 5-year period, we did around 68,000 tests. Our positivity rate has stayed stable at around 15%. We could go into our dashboard and click on any of these different regions. And I just showed you an example for Eastern, and we could get that regional breakdown or public health zone breakdown, which is really important in helping to tell that story of colon screening. So you can anecdotally be told, oh, there's more screening in a certain colon cancer in a certain region of the province than others. Well, yes, our data can confirm that, or no, our data can't confirm that. So again, it helps with planning, but it helps telling that story. And we also can see then finally our outcomes of fit positive colonoscopies. Again, you see an overall indication of colonoscopies performed in the province and our outcomes as we move along. So again, it tells a story, but it allows a regional story. We can then take this data and then develop strategies, work with partners and communities to allow them to better recruit and to better screen those for colon cancer in Newfoundland and Labrador.